So tell me a bit about yourself and how you got into crypto.
I started buying Bitcoin. A friend of mine told me to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum about maybe 6 years ago.
Mm.
And I bought it and I remember that it went up and I was like, okay, this is really good because I always traded stocks for a long time. And then I just started doing content on some of the crypto I would be buying. And then from there, everything just kind of went up from there. So, and then I started doing content, and then meme coins started to really hit, and then I really started to get my name out there, and then here we are. So it really was a friend of mine told me to buy crypto, and I just been hooked ever since about 6 years ago.
What do you remember what you bought Bitcoin at? Like what was its price at then?
Man, it was in 2017.
Mm.
So it was definitely around maybe 10,000, maybe
Wow.
15,000. Yeah, it was pretty cheap. And I didn't take advantage of it then. I just kind of put $100 in there at the
Mm.
time, and then it just kind of blew up from there. So, um, I mean, I remember kind of tripling my profit within a day, and then I bought Ethereum like a couple of days later, and it did the same thing there. Ethereum was extremely cheap at the time, so it
Mm.
was about 2017, 2018, around that
You
time.
got in before the big rush because crypto really started to take off when COVID hit,
Yeah,
really started
yeah.
to go.
Yeah, it did. It did. And then I start adding other projects at the time, like Cardano, XRP,
Mm.
a few other ones there. And then I started doing a lot of content on it. And then people start following me on some of the plays I was buying and some of the stuff I was talking about. And because they all were like so undervalued. And we all knew that it was going to happen. Like this is really going to take off. It's just a matter of timing. And then the people who did make profit, they really started to really follow me, sharing my name, things like that. And then when meme coin really started to hit, that's when things really start taking to another level, like Shiba and Doge and
Mm.
those type of projects.
So what do you look for in a meme coin now? Is that what you primarily trade?
Well, I trade all kinds of stuff now. Meme coin, I look at a couple of things. I look at the narrative. I look at the value in terms of does this relate to people? Obviously the animal means like the dogs and the cats really does well because everybody has a dog and a cat in their house or they
Right.
know about it. But I look at the narrative. I kind of look at the community as well. The community really is going to back it up. If the team is really going to push it and things like that. And then I kind of look at the long-term value of this. If this something can really hit the non-crypto people, can you? And that's what I saw in Shiba. I felt like Shiba was kind of like one of those dogs where it was transformational enough that people will buy it because they can envision them having a Shiba, having a Doge. So I kind of look at those type of things there. And I used to do, well, I still do. I just ask people that's not even crypto. I would just say, I'll just show a picture of stuff. Would
Mm.
you buy this frog or would you buy this cat? And then they'll say, I'll buy that cat. So a lot of times I will buy things based off people off the street. Hey, would you buy this? No. Would you buy this? No. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, if John's gonna buy this and he doesn't even know about crypto, I think this could do well.
Yeah, I get you. Do you
Yeah.
think that the meme coin community has kind of went crazy and kind of it's I don't want to say saturated, but it's definitely got more people in it now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think people are wanting the gains, they wanting the hype, they wanting the profits. Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot from back in the day, from the Dogecoin days where everybody was just there. They was excited about, being part of the community. They didn't mind, tweeting a lot about it. They didn't really worry about necessarily making a bunch of money. They were just wanting the community aspects. Now it's like it really has gotten a little bit more difficult or different. I would say different because now these projects now they want the gains, they want the immediate satisfaction.
Right.
And the thing about a lot of these projects, they will do well in time. You just got to be patient. You got to do your research. You always got to be on top of things. You can't just buy something and just forget about it because you might have missed something. So you got to take care of your investment and you got to be positive because the negativity sometimes is not as good because when things are down, everyone's negative. But you got to find other ways of getting yourself hyped up if you believe in something. That's the thing.
Yeah. What do you think of rug pulls?
They still exist. They have gotten a little bit more. You can see them a lot more from a farther distance now, especially if you've been around the space and you can kind of sense stuff. I think rug pulls will decrease over time, because I think crypto is going to get regulated at some point. It's already going to be a part of this election. It's already on the ballot. People are already investing to both parties.
Right.
That we didn't have this 4 years ago. So they're going to do something with this as well, but it still exists right now. I think the best thing to do is just kind of research. Sometimes you may have to wait before you ape into something just to kind of see what's going on, see if the doors are really open and
Yeah.
not closed somewhere else. So I would tell people just maybe wait. If it's something is too good to be true, kind of like maybe just pause for a minute and just kind of look around
Yeah.
and then, take your position.
Yeah. I agree. What do you think of Andrew Tate's coin?
Uh, I did see it early on. I think it brought a lot of buzz.
Yeah.
It did. And I think other celebrities started to do that as well. I saw other celebrity tokens trying to do that. Um, I think it's good because it brought people in to at least know about crypto. It also is a concern because, it's very volatile and
Mm.
you don't really know. You're like, oh, I know Andrew Tate, but where is this really going?
Yeah.
So it's a good and it's also a concern at the same time because you got people in the space. Now they can start buying other meme coins as well. Or they can buy that meme coin. And then it kind of builds community because meme coins is all about community.
Right.
And the more people talking about it, the better your position could be as well. So meme coins are definitely like one of those, it's like instead of me to go join a fraternity, it's like a fraternity in a sense,
Yeah.
you know. And it's not necessarily a new way. It's a new way to people who haven't been around it, but it's definitely a way to really, really capturing the buzz and well. Just go in a Telegram group or a Discord group, and you kind of feel you're like, man, it's like college again. It's like a
Yeah.
fraternity again. It's like this
I get
big
that.
group again, and people like it because it makes them feel young and a part of something. You're having a bad day at your job. Oh, I'm going to go in my group and hang out with them. So it definitely brings that aspect to it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that for sure in the crypto communities I'm a part of and stuff. Can
Yeah.
definitely sense that. So, how much do you use AI?
I use it pretty often for a lot of things. I use it to do regular businesses in terms of finding really good projects. I use it to communicate to people. um, I use it to generate images and videos. I use it to find content to talk about. I use it to teach people. So I use AI quite a bit. It's definitely the Google of this century now.
Yeah.
Things you want things done, you do look at AI now to try to get it done, and it's so fast, so quick,
Yeah.
and there's so many different AI models out there. So it's not just one; it's 1,000 of them out there. You find
Right.
one that fits you, and then you just kind of get better with it. And you just use it with caution. Caution.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people just, if you say AI, the vast majority of people are just like, oh, yeah, Chat GPT.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's all they think of AI as. And it's
yeah,
just like when you
yeah,
really start to learn some things about AI, you're like, whoa,
yeah,
you can do
yeah.
so much more than just Chat GPT. Hey,
ChatGPT.
what's the answer to this type stuff?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's ChatGPT got you in that mode, but I
right.
think as you stay in the AI sector, you'll start understanding like there's things better than ChatGPT or more extended or more easier.
Yeah.
Even if you go to Twitter, I mean, you got Grok. I mean, they basically answer almost anything you want. And actually, I use Twitter, I call it X now, and I use that ChatGPT, which is called Grok, to teach me how to make an apple pie, but not using real apples. And it literally gave me all these different types of tips and things like that, just
Huh.
like a chat GPT as well. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely the way we're going to do a lot of business now. I think the more you know about AI is the better now because you can use it to make things easier for yourself
Oh, yeah.
and not be afraid of it. It's like one of those things you got to test out and you'll be fine at it. You just got to be positive and just research, really.
Yeah. See, it's just like with like phones and the internet and stuff like that. It allows you to get more done it allows you to put more output out in the same amount of time. The
Yes.
AI is just a time hack. That's all it is. It cuts out employees, it cuts out human interaction too, but you can do more as an individual without having to hire a full-on team as well. So that's
Yeah.
I love AI for that because I'm in an area where there's not a lot of people around here. So if I
Oh, really?
yeah, I'm real rural. So if I wanted to get something done and build a team, it'd be harder to find the qualified and eligible people. Whereas I can go on ChatGPT or I can go on some other AI platform and I can make an employee do it all for me on there.
Yeah.
It's a hack.
It really is. You can program like a whole team, an assistant, a programmer, absolutely build a whole team to do different things.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that's the beauty of it that you can operate it without really any real employees.
Right. Yeah. So what got you into content creation then? Because I know you said that you bought Bitcoin because of a
Yeah.
friend and then you kind of just started posting it. But what kind of inspired that? Why did you start posting?
I start seeing people talk about different things. And obviously went to YouTube and I started seeing people talk about things that I was interested in or I had probably bought before. And I was like, you know what? I can do that. So for a while, I kept saying that and not really doing anything really. And then
Mm.
I just started to like, I'll do a video based off what I bought today. So basically, did a video based on what I bought, at the store, online. And then people will start to get interested in it. They're like, yeah, yeah, okay. And then that's where it really got started. I just started buying things that, I would buy or I was interested in. And then I started doing things on what I would do on a daily basis, what type of investments I would buy or to look out for. And it just kind of grew from there. So it's just started out me seeing people talk about things I was interested in, and then just me really convincing myself that I can do this and then start doing it. And I started out with YouTube and then obviously started moving over to other platforms.
So what all platforms are you on and how many followers do you have across all of them?
Um, I'm on most the major ones, the X, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. So probably between all those, probably maybe close to 200,000
Nice.
followers, something like that.
Nice.
Something like that across all, maybe a little bit more than that.
So for
Yeah.
X, how did you grow on X? Because I know like for we do the guy stuff, we're content creators
Yeah.
and X is a struggle for us.
Yeah.
We can't grow on it. We haven't grown on it yet. So
Yeah.
give me some tips.
I started following people that had pretty big followings, and at first I started replying to a lot of their tweets. So it was more like at first, because I was with you as well, like it was a struggle growing on X. If I felt like it was easier at the time than YouTube was, but X was a challenge. But I really just started to post things from YouTube, but then I would always like tag people that was a bigger following than I did. And so I would just tag them a lot. And then people used to follow me from there. So I was kind of like the reply guy. I would see people I like and I would reply to their tweets. People would see it and start following me. So like prime example, like Elon Musk, for example, he would post something about Dogecoin or something like he did. And I was like one of the first replies back, and I said something about it, put an image there, and I got like 60 followers from there. Like it was crazy. It was crazy because people follow him. He talked about something that was interesting that people interest, and I got like 60 followers within a day or two just from that. So I started being the reply guy on bigger accounts that I was interested in, and then that's how I started to get followers and on top of that, I will post things as well on things that I was more interested in as well, tag people, and I would try to find the hashtags that was used
Mm.
a lot, things like that, hashtag hunting, and so over time it started to grow. It started to grow over time.
Yeah,
It took time. Yes, it did.
yeah, you got a pretty large following now on there. I was impressed by that. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It really is. Yeah, yeah, you continue putting Twitter is one of those is that you like any other platforms, consistency and
right.
finding other ways of getting the views and getting the subscribers. But I got a good thing going on right now. Using the whole reply guy since, and um, yeah, it was actually pretty good.
Nice, man. Well, congrats on that. You're doing great.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. And then following accounts that's bigger than me, and I will apply to them their stuff, and maybe say sometimes I will say something completely opposite. They say, "Hey, man,
Mm.
I'm gonna buy Facebook stock." No, I'm gonna buy Twitter. You should look. I would do things like that to get people to think, and then sometimes they will reply back, and I'll be like, "Oh, okay." But they have like 50,000 subscribers, and people see that, and they're like, oh, "Let me go follow this guy." So
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
how that happened a lot at times. Still does.
So throughout your crypto or content creation or anything you do, what has been the biggest failure you've experienced?
Um, Biggest failure. Well, one of the biggest thing in terms of crypto, I didn't buy enough Shiba at the time that I was told. A friend of mine said buy this, and I was into more of the blue chip stocks like your Ethereum and your Cardanos. I ignored him for months. He told me to buy this about a month or two right after Shiba was created. It was worth nothing at the time. So I kind of just waited, I waited, and waited, and then um, he kept contacting me to buy this thing. So I finally bought it, but I was very conservative. I just put like maybe a few $100s in, which it still was a lot at the time, but I could have put more in, a lot more in.
Hmm.
And then all I know, we had this big boom on meme coins and the market, and Shiba just went up billions of dollars in market cap. And I looked up and I'm like, I made some good money, but I kept thinking like, man, I could have been like it could have been really well. And I remember him calling me at a car dealership. Call me at a car dealership. This is when Shiba was really going up. Just call me randomly. He's like, I'm getting ready to buy a couple of vehicles. I'm like, couple of vehicles? He's like, are you get one too? So I'm like, I looked at my account. I was like, well, what are you getting actually? So he told me, he literally told me a Lambo. He literally told me a Lambo, a green Lambo. I'm never gonna forget this. And he said, so did you buy Shiba, about 4 or 5 months ago? It's like, yeah, I bought like $100, $200. What? So he was so shocked. He's like, bro, I dropped 10K on that. He dropped 10K when Shiba
Damn.
was like millions of market cap, like maybe not hardly millions. That thing went to like 20 billion. So he's taken care of. So that was I was pretty depressed that area, like I was, because I didn't listen and I didn't research either. I didn't even research. I didn't
Right.
even I just like, nah, I'm not dealing with that. And that's when I realized that, always research stuff, make sure, just don't just look at something. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna last. And then blasting. So that's when I really realized that in terms of this market, anything you're investing in, always research your things and maybe put something in there to see what happens. But man, it was crazy. That was the biggest one there.
I bet.
Um,
Yeah.
oh my God, it hurt. It did hurt. He called me at a dealership and asked me, "Oh, you getting one too?" And I'm thinking like, hey, he's getting a Ford, maybe getting a little Chrysler or something. This man said a green Lambo.
That's
Call me at the
crazy.
dealership, man. So so it happens, and then I was saying what social media was in the beginning was a struggle. What you were saying before, it was frustrating in the beginning to grow, because you saw other people growing, you wasn't growing at all. Um, so what I started to do is research other people. I asked them, just like what you just said. I started saying, how did you grow on Instagram? And then they would tell me, hey, I went through the route of photos, and I would just I would just basically post photos and beautiful photos and did all these different things. And that's what happened. So everyone had their own story with it. So I just did a lot of research. I brought my book out. I was like, I'm gonna really find out. And what happened with X was, a person told me, hey man, just be the reply guy. Just reply to tweets on accounts that you follow, that you like their content, and that's a good way of people seeing your stuff. And so I was like, oh, okay. So that's how I got with Twitter, and at that time was Twitter, and then with YouTube was more just being consistent with content.
Yeah. YouTube really does demand that consistency for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then the flip side of that, what was your biggest success you've experienced?
The biggest success with crypto was I did well in some of the plays, especially early on, like the V chains and the and Shiba. I did well on Shiba. And looking back, I just didn't do as well as I could have done.
Yeah, I got
So,
you.
so I would say some of the early plays there were really good. Um, I would say, early on, we grew pretty quick on YouTube around that time. Um, I think I remember seeing I had got like maybe 4,000 subscribers in one day. It was crazy.
Oh,
But that was dealing with the Shiba and everyone was excited and doing all this stuff. And I was doing a lot of Shiba content at the time. And and Shiba was kind of like there was no other meme coins at that time. Doge and Shiba, that's all it was.
mm,
And Shiba had this large community, and it was all this excitement and with it. So people were always searching for Shiba. Shiba was like one of the highest search terms on Google trending,
oh
and
wow.
I knew that. So I looked at Google trending. I'm like, I'm just gonna just roll out. And that's one reason how I started really growing on YouTube. I'll look and see what was trending too in the areas I like to talk about. And because people were searching for it, so I just did content on it.
I'm writing that
So
down.
that was a positive thing. And then social media was I would say that's also with social media too, because I started to get more interest on really Google trending, what was trending on Google, and I started to really get noticed there.
Gotcha. Nice, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So then my last question for you is, if you
Mhm.
had to give one piece of advice to anybody that's going to get started in crypto, content creation, anything, what would that piece of advice be?
And crypto is scared money don't make money, but the more research you do, the better you will be.
Hmm.
Like, don't throw the whole basket. You may want to throw a piece of it. So if you see something you like, maybe research it and put a small amount in there. All right. Don't do what I did and just dismiss everything and the thing went up, or don't put everything in and then everything goes down. Invest what you're willing to lose, obviously. Find some people that you like and follow them, ask for some positive advice, obviously. And try to have fun with it, man. Crypto is definitely a positive thing. It's like it's built on positive community, so it can be a really good thing. Um, Take your time and have some fun with it. Have fun with it. Absolutely. It should be fun. Should not be all nervous. And definitely don't invest your rent and your mortgage and things, because then you're gonna be on pins and needles and yelling at everybody and things like that. But
Yeah.
always research and have a good time.
Nice. I like that. All right, man.
Yeah.
That's all I got for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks for having me. I
Yeah,
appreciate. How
I
did you
appreciate being
find
here.
me?
How did I find you? I found you through X.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. I appreciate it, man. Yeah. I enjoyed this. Thank you for having me, and I
Of course.
appreciate you interviewing.
Yeah. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Love to
Hopefully
stay
we'll do it
in
again
contact.
sometime.
What's that?
Hopefully we'll do it again sometime.
Oh yeah, we will for sure. We'll stay in contact. I'll ask you some crypto questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Well, you know how to find me now.
Yep. Yep. Awesome, man. I appreciate
All
your
right.
time a lot.
You
Talk to
too.
you
Thank
later.
you.